Palace for Politics, still here at the Rock. Here, we with the Rise leader. Welcome.
Thank you.
So, how's your guys' performance in comparison to your guys' expectation?
So there's been a sort of a black swan in this election, and that is MK, right? Which has come in and I think have taken votes from everybody. Having said that, we had two objectives coming into this election. The first one was to make sure that we become a recognized national political brand, and I think we've achieved that. We managed to get on the ballot in all 9 provinces. We're punching above our weight in terms of the political discussion, driving various issues that voters care about. I think we've done well in that respect. The second was to get votes on the scoreboard and make sure we've got representation in parliament and legislature so that we can show voters how we perform. So after 13 months, our expectations were always modest, if you can put it that way. And I think we'll be able to achieve both. The only factor is by how much we will be in parliament. And given the factor that I shared with you, it's really difficult now to work out how many. But it looks like it will be less than our own expectations, let's say in January this year.
Okay, let's go with the first one, right?
Yes.
The visibility.
Yes.
Rise has had a very visible campaign from very early, which raised the question, where was the money from?
You know, it wasn't even the money, by the way. It was just having professionals who know what they're doing. We knew that on first voter registration weekend, the established political parties won't take it seriously. They won't post. So we posted. Posters are cheap, by the way. So we posted. We went all out because what you want to do as a new political organization is to make sure people know you exist and they start asking the question, who are these guys? And so on. So we posted. And then they realize that, like we fell asleep there and this guy, they've got the jump on us. Then they started questioning the money. We actually didn't have so much money. We've declared where our money comes from, but we've got, those are the major donors. We have nearly 600 donors, by the way, as Rise Mzansi. They're just below the threshold.
The top 3?
No, we've had Rebecca, we are the people, we've got a couple of, we've got another donor that's over 1,600,000 and so on. But we've got a lot of repeat donors who support us, nearly 600 of them, which people wouldn't see and they wouldn't think that's important, but those donors are very valuable to us. But the point I'm making is this. If you want to compare money, we had no billboards. We had no TV advertising. We had no primetime radio advertising either, right? The only ads we could develop were ads that were for free to air in part of the ICASA requirement, right? So we just chose where we spend the money. We decided to spend our money on postering because it is the only way you can be on every street, at least in the areas where you're targeting. And it's possible. I spoke about 500 and some odd donors. People donated posters to us. We gave them the price, what those posters cost. And people said, I can do 500 posters. And they pay 500 posters. And people say, hey, you got millions. But somebody in Midrand on down Liver Road, their posters, they were bought by a person, those posters. They didn't come from us. As an example, it's just that people are obsessed with conspiracy theories about what the donor conversation is like.
One of those conspiracy theories, which is what I was getting to, is the whole Stellenbosch mafia, and you mentioned Rebecca.
Yes.
Do you think that had an impact in terms of the votes, or maybe there was a bit of lack of trust rather?
No, there would be people there are 2 types of people who complain about donors. The first is our opponents who don't want us to get any money, right?
Definitely.
That's a fact, okay? The second is people who are purists. In other words, don't get money from those people, but I won't give you money, and I can't tell you who I will accept, right? I just know that I'm uncomfortable with certain people. If people think about Stellenbosch properly, they must go and look at that thing again. Those people are not with us.
Who are they with?
Rebecca doesn't stay in Stellenbosch, okay? She's not Afrikaans either. People must just go and have a look again, okay? That is there. You will see who got money from Stellenbosch, not us.
And then with regards to the leader of the DA, John Steenhuisen, he came out saying you guys are mercenaries, and you came out about that. What was your stance on all of that?
By the way, that also goes to show, right? You know, people say the DA is supported by Stellenbosch, right? And here we are fighting, and people don't want to reconcile the fact that the conspiracy they have about which side we on is just not borne out by the facts, given that out of all the political parties, the DA went for us. And the reason they did is because their own voters, there are two classes of voters that were going with us. And if you look at the city of Cape Town, when the results come out, you will also see that for the national ballot, we've taken votes away from them. In places like Sea Point and various other suburbs within Cape Town, right? Areas that they've always regarded as their own. You must look in the city of Joburg. We've got some of the party agent data. You must look in some of the areas of Joburg where the DA is. So we're number 2 in other areas, right? Because they thought they had a monopoly on those voters. So when they saw us building up the momentum, they were like, these guys are going to erode our voter base. And by the way, the DA's absolute numbers, you must compare between this election and next election, they will drop them, the EFF and the ANC. All of them will drop in this election.
Okay. Now, when all of this is done, we go to parliament, legislatures, etc.
Yeah.
If there's a party that needs a seat that's going to get them in power, who's Rise Mzansi willing to give their votes to or their votes to?
Listen, that's a moot question now. The only coalition that looks like is ANC, DA, IFP. Look on the scoreboard. The ANC will get 42%, 43% if they're lucky. They're not going to go with MK, right? They're not going to go with MK. I can tell you for free, they hate each other. I mean, I know a couple of days is a long time in politics, but they're not going to go with MK, right? Because the leader of the MK wants to take over the ANC. So it's not happening, right? So that combination is not happening. Even if they combine together with the EFF, I mean, I don't know what their relationship is like with the EFF. I don't think it's tenable. But if you look at KZN, and if you look at Gauteng, and also nationally, mark my words, DA, ANC, IFP.
Who are Rise Mzansi's friends?
Friends?
Yeah.
No, I mean, there are some ideological friends that Rise Mzansi has. I mean, I spoke, for instance, at the Good conference. Brett Hero came and spoke at our convention last year. And I can really say we're friends, we're social democrats together, and we've done a couple of things together. And I think after this election, there is a real opportunity potentially for consolidation of various political parties, which are both new and maybe smaller political parties, because I think we're getting into that phase now.
Final prediction?
I don't know. Listen, did you know that scoreboard was going to look like that before? I'm in the same boat, my friend.
Okay, no, thank you. We'll definitely reach out after everything's
Awesome.
been done.
Oh,
Thank you for making time.
All right, thanks, man.
Guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, share. Please also in the comment who you'd like to hear from, what you'd like to hear, and we'll bring it to you. Signing out.